Below this video will help you find the x and the y-intercept and then graphing this linear equation. So we're going to break this process into two different parts, one where we find the x-intercept and another one where we find the y-intercept. So for the x-intercept, your points are always a number for the x-coordinate and 0 for the y-coordinate. And for the y-intercept, you have the opposite situation, where your x-coordinate is 0 and your y-coordinate is a number. So when we're writing our equations, our points will look something like that. We'll start off with the x-intercept, and we'll use that information that we know that y is 0. So since we know that y is 0, in our original problem, we'll replace y with 0 here. So next to the 6, I'll write parentheses since I'm substituting 0 for y. And then rewrite everything else on the equation that I didn't do anything with. So equals 24. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve here. Notice how we have the 6 and the 0 together. So that means multiplication. 6 times 0 is 0, so I'm just going to cross it out because it cancels out at the end since it's 0. So then you get 3x equals 24. We want to leave x by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 3. And then you get that x is 8, since 24 divided by 3 is 8. So your x-intercept is going to be your number, which was 8, 0. Where we're going to repeat the process for the y-intercept, but this time we know that x is 0. So next to the 3, since we have an x, we'll replace it with 0. Rewrite the rest of our equation here. And then we end up with the same or a similar situation where you get a number times 0, so that ends up canceling out. So I'm just going to cross it out. You get 6y equals 24 left. Divide both sides by 6. And you get that y is 4. So that means that the y-intercept is going to be 0 for x-coordinate and our number, which was 4 in this situation here. So we have our two intercepts here, the x and the y-intercept, which is going to give us two different points on our graph. And then that's going to be sufficient information to graph our linear equation here. Let me set up my x-coordinate first. So let me graph the x-intercept, which is at 8. I'm going to go by 2 so I don't have to do 8 little tick marks. So the x-intercept will always be on that horizontal line. That's why it's called the x-intercept, because it crosses the x-axis. So that's that green point right there. Similar, but now on the y-axis, since we're graphing the y-intercept, it's going to be at +4. I'll go by 2's again. So there's your other point. So now you have your two intercepts, the x-intercept at 8 and the y-intercept at 4. So your x-intercept should always be on the corresponding axis there. So those 2 points, I'll connect them with the line. And there's your graph for your linear equation here. Make sure that you do include the arrows at the end so that you indicate that your graph keeps going on forever. I hope that this review was helpful.